So I noticed that on the last season of Chronicles of the Chronicler that the behind-the-scenes video that got the most amount of views was about the models, so I'm going to try to go a little bit more in-depth about the models used for Chronicles of the Chronicler for the Search for Life. Pretty much. Some of the models are pretty much straight the same ones that have appeared in the previous seasons, but with every passing season I've tried to at least change at least one thing about each model, so I can kind of show you what I mean here. So the first model I'm going to talk about is Holly. Now this is actually the actual Holly model that LEGO released in 2003. Prior, and I'll explain this a little more when I get to Mal, but prior to this season of Chronicles of the Chronicler, I never actually owned the Holly model. I ordered this one online when I decided that I was going to do a fourth one. Or really, not even that I was going to do a fourth one, when I decided I was going to do another stop motion thing, because originally this fourth one was meant as a spin-off, but I ordered the actual Holly model online, so you'll notice she has the dark blue legs and hands. Like in all the other Matoro models, it has the Matoran Metru heads, the dark gray, or I guess it's not even dark gray, technically it's like dark bluish gray, according to the official color things, and Holly also has gotten her original green eyes. She had green eyes in the first 2 seasons, but then I changed it to blue in the third. I've gone back to green because it shows up better through the mask itself than the blue eyes did. Got the Chronicler staff and her little shield, which is a Borak call weapon. And that's, in a nutshell, Holly. Moving on to Mal. Now this is actually the model that was used in Chronicles of the Chroniclers 1 through 3. This was the Holly model. Holly should have dark blue incorporated into her instead of light blue, but since I didn't own the original Holly model in the previous 3 seasons, I had just used what was originally the Maku model from 2003. Well, actually one major difference between the Holly and the Mal models, Mal has lighter blue, whereas like if you see Holly has darker blue hands and feet. The only other difference is that Mal's head is this lighter gray, whereas Holly's head is a darker gray, but they both have the same shade of eyes. So that's the only real difference there. And now we're coming to Jela. So Jela is the only model that has appeared in all 4 seasons of Chronicles of the Chronicler and has never once changed. He's always remained the same with the lighter red. I guess that would be the body, because if this piece is the torso, I guess this piece would be the body. And he also has the light red arms, but his shoulders and torso are darker red. He also has a Matoran Metru head with the orange eyes instead of green like Holly. His little blade and shield, which, again, the shield is from a Borak Call, and it has the flame design, so it was from the Tanakh. And this design is the same thing that appears on Tahu's armor, so without the keeping with the flame motif for this one. And here we have Akmu. Now he has not changed at all from the model you saw in Chronicles of the Chronicler 3, The Lost World. Still the same. The base is from the Huki model. So he's got like the dark orange legs and the tan back, but arms are the dark brown, or I guess yeah, the dark brown from a Borak Call model, and the chest piece was from a Bakke. Head and mask are both from the Matoran Metru sets from Akmu. No, Akmu didn't have the red eyes, did he? He had blue. And Boris, he was also in the second season very briefly as a Matoran. At the end of the first episode, he was shown as a Matoran before becoming Hordika, the mutated version of Boris. But in this film, he's still just a Matoran, so I don't exactly remember what the Matoran version of Boris looked like. I remember I used this mask, and I think he was just solid green pretty much, except for like the body, which LEGO has never made a green this piece, the back piece, or green leg pieces. So the back and leg pieces are from another Huki model I had, because for some reason I had 2 Hukis. And he has the light green Oh, I'm almost pulling him off screen. I just realized that Akmu has the red eyes and he has pink eyes, which I thought might be good for portraying them as evil. So they have like evil colored eyes. Now we have Matoro. He has not really changed since the other two Chronicles seasons that he's been in. One difference though is that he now has the dark gray and bright blue eyes head, whereas before he had a white head with a slightly darker shade of blue eyes. Other than that, straight Matoro. Niparu is quite a bit different in this season because he has a tan body in this one. Legs, hands, and feet are still the same, and mask and head are still the same with the dark gray head with green, or dark green eyes, I should say. This one I just decided to switch him up because I do try to edit at least one thing about every model in the series, except for Jela and Matoro basically remain the same until I change Matoro for this season. Now, Altair has not changed at all since the previous season. He is the straight Takuma model that LEGO released with the obvious head and mask differences. So now we're getting into the Turaga models. So this is Nuju. All the Turaga they're all variations on the Turaga Dume model that was in 2004. It was basically the same structure, just different arms and leg pieces. This is Nuju, so he's got the Nuju mask. So that's pretty much that. There's not really a whole lot to say about the Turaga model, so I figured I'd just kill two geckos with one stone. Matao and Whenua, also the Turaga Dume models. The heads are slightly different than like Nuju's head. The position where it's placed on the body is different for both models. They're both placed lower and they have different legs, which makes them shorter. Matao has different arms than Whenua does, and Nuju has different arms as well. Now on to the Bakke models. In terms of pieces, these are almost straight Bakke sets. The biggest difference about them being that I've incorporated various color schemes into just 3 models. It's got like tan here, it's got the brown arms and feet, but he's got lots of green in him as well. I do not remember which tools went to which Bakke, so don't even ask. Also, these models also come in here. I'll just show you. They also can be used like this, standing up, but in terms of continuity-wise, I wanted to differentiate them from Rakshi, and standing up, I felt they just looked like Rakshi with different heads. So that's why in the film itself, you'll pretty much only see them in the four-legged stance, and that really holds true for the other two, which I'll just show you really quick. There's really no point in discussing all 3 models when there's really nothing to discuss about them. So that was the white and green. They all have green incorporated into them because I happen to have two green Bakke sets when I was originally collecting all the Bionicle sets. So that's why there's green in all of them. And here we have Tahu. There's something about both of the Toa models and this one that have been changed. They have different lower arm pieces to make their arms longer, because I always felt that the Toa Metru had really stubby arms compared to the rest of their bodies. So I thought I wanted to incorporate different pieces in. Whoa, Tahu doing the splits. Incorporate different pieces in to make the arms look longer. I mean, a lot of the Bionicles, I mean, if you just look at the Matoran compared to how long their arms are compared to how long their feet, legs are, the Bionicles have always kind of felt like they've had longer arms than normal. So I kind of thought it was odd that the Toa Metru had such short arms. But other than that, Tahu hasn't changed a whole lot other than the arms from the previous movie. There's a different symbol which I pointed out earlier is the same as Jela's shield, the Tanakal shield weapon piece. And I also incorporated silver into him to counteract with Takua's gold. Just kind of a little added nicety. I try to incorporate more orange into him as well, because last time there was just these, the pieces on his ankles were just orange, and everything else was a shade of red or gray. And also Tahu's eyes, which were red in the previous film, are orange in this one. And his weapon is different too. This time he has his traditional Tahu Nuva flame sword things, because as Tahu Nuva he had two of these, and when you put them together it created a surfboard thing, but since the surfboard wasn't going to be used in the film, I just decided to just have him have one. Of the models changed from season to season, I've probably changed Takuma the most. One thing you'll notice right off the bat is that he has a lot of blue in him that he didn't have in the previous season. Takuma as a Toa has changed every single season, because originally in the first season he was just the Toa Nuva model, and then in the second one he was a Toa Metru model, but he was white and silver. And then the third one he was the Toa Metru model again, but he was red and gold and a little bit of black. This season he's red and gold still, but I tried to incorporate some blue into him as well, because if you remember, Takuma originally was red and blue. I thought it would be a good idea to incorporate blue back into his model just to kind of create some continuity. I also thought about putting white in there, but I thought it was just way too many colors to kind of tie all the different Takumas together. But yeah, it was just way too many colors. Takuma also has some differences in his armor as compared to Tahu. Tahu has two of the same shoulder pieces. Takuma has a different shoulder piece on his left arm. And also his hand, which I'll show you here, I have to take it off. He has a kind of silver thing around his hand. Originally that was a deleted subplot where Takuma actually lost his hand early on in the film and then was getting used to a new one. The reason that didn't end up being in the film was because I felt that that subplot had been done so many times in so many different movies. In this one it's just kind of like, maybe it's like an armored glove is how I decided to look at it, to protect his hand while he's using the sword. So that's why he has a silver hand. The eye color has remained the same green shade as it was in, I'm sorry, I just reached in front of the camera, but the eye color has remained green, the same as it was in the previous film, because I did not think the blue eyes that he had with the first two seasons Takuma had blue eyes, but I did not think that with the gold mask, in the previous he had silver mask, so I did not think that the blue eyes looked as good with the gold mask, so that's why he's green. And with that, those are all the models that we had in Chronicles of the Chronicler 2. I mean, I could talk about Eerie as well, but there's really nothing remarkable about Eerie other than the fact that he uses pieces from Matoro. Other than that, that's it, and I will see you next time when we talk about something else about the behind-the-scenes videos of Chronicles of the Chronicler 4, The Search for Life. Hey, how's it going? Don't question my logic.